So following up with our last question here about new technologies, question number 4 is, why have innovative new technologies like next best action not been broadly adopted? And what can firms do to really help advisors adopt these more quickly and more broadly within their organizations? Aawad?
Yeah, short answer, to implement next best action, it's not always easy. You have to look at it in 2 ways. On one hand, you have the prepackaged next best action tools that'll come with the CRM prepackaged, and they'll have the next best action models in there. And on the other end, financial institutions will want to build these models to enable next best action themselves. There's pros and cons to each approach. If it comes prepackaged, the models are readily available. You just need to tune them to sort of fit your purpose and your use cases. The other side of it, if you build it from the ground up, obviously you can make it more custom, but the amount of time you'll have to spend training those to build those models and training it with the right data, that can be very time consuming as well. But if it comes prepackaged, let's say as part of a CRM, if it applies horizontally to multiple other industries, not just simply wealth management, then it's not been trained with the right use cases for specifically wealth management. It has been trained with the right wealth management jargon, so to say. The models haven't been trained with the right taxonomy to be able to perform specifically for wealth management. But CRM platforms that sort of specialize in that vertical will come readily available with models that are aware of that, are compliant with wealth management and its biases and its jargon. So that's one way that firms are implementing next best action, is to pick solutions that are specifically for their vertical. They're also undergoing significant digital transformation initiatives to make sure that data has been organized and wrangled, and it's been made available for these models to ingest and utilize. There's also a big push around educating the advisors themselves on how to use it. I know Morgan Stanley is doing a very massive training program for next best action to ensure that their next best action as part of their wealth desk platform gets adopted. There's also a lot of concerns around the models themselves. And this is where, going with prepackaged models is somewhat of a safer bet, because if you're building models on your own, sometimes they haven't been optimized or implemented correctly. And it may have biases or inaccuracies that can sort of surface in subtle ways. And maybe I need to remind you all, a couple of years ago, that example with Microsoft's bot Tay, that was ingesting public data from Twitter, was trying to learn and develop itself, and it wasn't long until it turned into this like xenophobic, racist, chatbot. So what I'm trying to say is these models are sensitive, and they need to be trained with the right data, and biases in that data can go a long way in influencing biases of the model. So it takes a while. So firms are aware of that, and they're working hard at that.
So yeah, a couple of great takeaways there, I would say, in terms of having the right models. I want to underscore the point that you made about having a CRM that is more vertical in nature. So something that was developed for wealth management, something that's not horizontal, that's used across different industries. I think that's also really important. Wealth management being unique, I think, and also the advisor population being comprised of a myriad of different ages, different backgrounds, from independents to wirehouse to bank wealth management, trusts, and so on. There's a lot of different people that fall under the umbrella of what a wealth manager is. So more flexibility around there. And then I think, as we were saying, I think it's also really important to have a great and simple UI, UX, so that when you sit down at it, it doesn't feel intimidating, and advisors can begin using it without feeling like they need to have, some entire training course that really teaches them how to use it, but more intuitive, and to pick up on something Andrew said, to augment the way that they're working already. So I think those are some of the essential points for me in driving adoption. Andrew, you want to round out your points here?
Yeah, sure. And I agree with what you're saying. I think one of the things I advocate is really taking an evolutionary approach to the implementation of next best action or other AI solutions. I think start off with some cases which are going to add a lot of value, solve some pain points, but you can get some confidence. I think with any type of software implementation, there's always skepticism about it being better than what people use today, right? And I think by trying to get some early wins and some confidence in solutions as you introduce them is going to be a much better approach in terms of getting adoption of advisors. So I think seeing it work, picking some simple cases to begin with, but also coming back to that idea of the integrated experience and the user experience, making it easy to actually consume what's being put in front of me and make it easy for me to action upon those things are critical. We absolutely see huge differences in the technical capability of advisors across the market, and I think certainly some of the younger generation of advisors are going to be maybe more understanding of the way the technology works. So we need to be cognizant of that as well to support people based on their different level of understanding there. And something we hear a lot is advisors saying that actually my assistant is the one who deals with all the technology. They're the expert, right? So I think we shouldn't forget about the assistants being a key part of this as well, and the collaboration of the assistant and the advisor working together and the technology enabling them to do that is critical as well.
Yeah, no, I think they're all great points. So I want to thank you, Aawad Aamir from Celent Research, and thank you, Andrew Cant from ofNexJ Systems. It's been a great conversation around what we can do to understand and improve advisor experience. And thank you to all of those of you listening.
Thank you, April.
Thanks, April.